Right? Here's the narrative part for something. Hi everyone, welcome to the first of a two-part class about the use of hybrids as a tool for reharmonization. That last chord in that little reharm of giant steps is one, that kind of a sound. It's a dissonant sort of to the end kind of sound, but we'll get to that in just a second. So I hope you're ready for something different, because it is different. You've heard and seen hybrid structures before, usually as incidental to tonal music or incidental to 2/5 music. That is to say, chords that are defined by triad/bass note. Something like this, for example. Everybody's seen that who plays guitar, right, Eric? Yeah. Okay. A lot of times that's written as an F triad over G. It's written as a hybrid when it might be more correct to call it, a G9 sus, because if it's within the context of tonal music, it's usually a functioning dominant going to C, that kind of thing, You've all been there, you know what that's about. I mean, something like this even, I've seen written as, F sharp over A, lead sheet, written as a hybrid, when really, if it's written as a functioning dominant, it might be more accurate to call it an F13 flat 9, if it's going to go to D. Right. When I hear this sound, how do I quantify it? If I had to write a bunch of tunes for Jan Garbarek, the alto player that used to be on the ECM label years ago, I might use a lot of these structures because it reminds me of what John Abercrombie used to call the fjord sound, the ECM sound, It's kind of a cold, kind of a little bit icy, but beautiful at the same time, sort of an icy kind of beauty. All right? So I might remember that as I'm driving down this boulevard. I could stop at, the 9th Avenue, and what would I see? I'd see Jan Garbarek in his yard with the mountains in the background, and the wind would be blowing, and he'd be playing his alto saxophone. If I go to 4, I'd see James Taylor on the beach in Martha's Vineyard, Different sound, different texture, much less tense, right? Yeah? All right. Geez, I wish I could get some feedback from all this so that I'd know if I'm making sense or not, but I'm just going to trust all this. So, 3 options at every station, 1 through 12, right? Let's look at number 12 just for the heck of it. All right. This is a structure that is considered to be the most dissonant hybrid, and it's specified by the relationship of a flat 5 between the triad and the bass note. Okay. If you study at all, look at the Stravinsky ballets, Firebird Suite, Rite of Spring, you'll notice he used these structures a lot in passages, all right? Of course, along with a choir and a bunch of drummers, just to get the point across, So let's do it. If I have a D triad, what has to be in the bass to create an interval of a flat 5? I'll tell you, A flat. Sounds like my car alarm going off. Right? Okay, Okay, so that's one. All right, let's look at something else. How about that A triad? All right, very tense. I'll show you how this is used shortly. F triad, put a B on the bottom, right? Maybe something like. Any Stravinsky fans out there, you know this sound. You know a Stravinsky fan, Eric? You know those notes? Can you hear it?
I hear it.
Okay. Just an aside, I don't know why this technique hasn't been used more in choral music, because I'm waiting for that to be done. Okay. Also, a couple of things. First of all, at any one station, 1 through 12, you've got 3 options. That means for any one note, you have 36 options with regards to the whole chart. 3 times 12. So there's 36 options, if you're going to use the whole chart. 3 options at each station, 1 through 12 creates 36. Students are typically, when I first show them this, Zach, if you're out there, you know what I'm talking about. Trying to associate a 2 with a 9, or to find something extremely novel right away. There are 2 very specific ways to use this chart that you can get a great result just about every time, and I'll show you that in just a second. I just want to talk about spread voicings here a little bit also. Let's go back to that 12 sound, an F triad over B. This F triad is a close voicing. You all know what that means, I'm sure. If I want to create a spread voicing, I'll take the middle voice and drop it down an octave, and I'll get this. All right. You can use a spread voicing to create hybrids. I can do something like this, maybe. All right. Now that's also an F triad over B. I've got the B doubled here on the 2nd string. All right. So this is a guitaristic thing to get a wider sound. The melody's like this. If I'm going to harmonize this as 4s, I could come up with a passage that sounds like this. So that whole passage has been reharmonized. That is to say, I'm not thinking in terms of diatonic. I'm not thinking in terms of how chords revolve around a tonal center. I'm thinking only in terms of that structure that I like, 4, and I'm going to harmonize a whole passage with it using one of the 3 options at each note. This is A flat over D flat. This is G over C. This is E over A. This is B flat over E flat. This is E flat over A flat. So you get the idea. I have a melody that, if you heard it by itself, says do, re, mi to probably everybody out there in the wide listening audience. Because we all probably have what a famous pianist once referred to as me having jive diatonic ears. His name was Carl Schroeder, by the way. It was Sarah Vaughan's accompanist for years. I used to give him fits in a lot of different ways. Okay, so I'm listening to this, but it doesn't exist anymore as like, it's not about that anymore. It's about this. It's about this texture. Make sense? A little bit? Okay. I can use it as though the harmony has a way of telescoping out of itself. It seems to work. Nothing really sounds out of place, really. It just seems to work that way. I don't know why, but so let's try this. The melody here, and this is on your page, the bottom of the page that says as constants. The melody is the same. It's like this. This time I'm going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which I consider to be right in the sweet spot of the chart. Everybody's got to like this, all right? And I'm going to play 4 is going to be A flat over D flat. 5 is going to be B flat over G. 6 is going to be E over F sharp. 7 is going to be B flat over D flat. And 8 is going to be C over B flat. Just said a mouthful, I'll tell you. But I mean, you can check these, you know, in terms of the triad bass note relationship to see if I'm right. All right. So anyway, it's going to sound like this if I can play it. Should have practiced this. And then this. That's incremental. Isn't that nice? Is that voice-led? That sounds really cool. I'll try it again. Moving up the chart. Once again here, if this is a C triad over B flat, you can throw that F in there. It's sort of a partial of the low note anyway, so maybe you can put that in. Maybe it changes the quality. Maybe some of the guys at MIT may take exception, but go ahead and do it if you like it. All right, so let's try to play this again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, we've gone a long way from what this little melody line implies. Haven't we?